I somehow noticed we're moving towards the end of this movie, and this girl has still not chosen herself. Because I choose me, and we're close to the end of the. I was just like, when will you choose yourself? When? If there was anybody else that felt that way, please let me know. This movie really, it's just I don't know. Nollywood just has a way of just toiling with my emotions, because what the heck? What the actual heck? Hi, let's get to the conversation. My name is Lami. If this is the first time you're seeing my video, I do reviews and have conversations. And just let's jump on it. Let me know what you think of this movie in the comment section. If you've not seen it, I think you should see it, then watch this, or watch this, then see it. Whichever one is your jam. But let's talk about the goalpost always moving for women. Yes, I know I'm just jumping right into it, because I honestly don't want to. I don't want to stay too long on this review. This is what I mean by the goalposts always moving for women. When Buddy and Linda were, got engaged and were planning to get married, and the conversation was it was a thing of who is going to quit his or her job. It was a thing of, oh, Linda, just do this for your marriage, do this for the home, because you are the woman, it's easier. He's the provider, he can't be the one without a job. Yeah, so at that point, it just felt like all you had to do was quit your job. He's going to take care of you, he's going to provide for you, so just do it. Then that happened. They get married. While editing, I also just remembered that she was also the one that had to move from the island to the mainland, just because, well, it's what you have to do. She's now asking for this so-called provision. It now became a thing of, why would I even give you that much money to start a business when you have not given me a child? The next goalpost now is, oh, give me a child. And this person you want a child from, you're not even, having sex with her. How is she going to get pregnant? Is she going to drink? Is she going to drink it in a cup? Is she going to drink it in a cup? Now it's a thing of, oh, you don't look good enough for me to. The goalpost is always moving. Then the auntie is not even helping matters. Be his peace. He's going through a lot. The country is hard. He's frustrated. Be his peace. Be his peace. A man that is not her peace. Be his. And I understand, why the decision was kind of tough for her, because it was a thing of, I don't want to repeat patterns. I don't want my family to break. My mom didn't have a home. My aunt doesn't have one. I want to be the one to do the right thing. I want to be the one to break the pattern. Now who they alive, they break pattern. Now who they alive, they break pattern. You hear me? So so and I'm even shocked that it took the auntie and was Tinu Bade's cousin to it took that long for them to help her. I just keep checking my microphone, because if it dies on me again, I'm going to stop recording. I'm shocked that it took them that long to even come through or help her or pull her out of that nonsense. Because were they blind? The Linda they've always known, and the Linda that they know after just 2 years, well, it's a sharp contrast. In 2025, let me even say, Linda, why and how do you have a joint account with your husband and is the only signatory? Are you mad? In 2025, are you mad? No, it doesn't make sense. And she was working, they didn't exactly tell us what her job was, but we could shoot as an auditor, because at least we got that at the end. As an auditor, you have a joint account with your husband and it's the only signature. It's like you're taking us 20 years backwards. In 2025, are you dumb? Linda, I hope there's no Linda watching this video. I'm not married, so I know that might be the next question. I'm not, but I just know that don't take us 20 years backwards. People have literally fought for women to get to this point. Don't take us 20 years backwards. And I think it just goes to say, marry a kind person. Marry a kind person, because a kind person will never look at his partner, someone who he has become one with, look like that, struggle like that, or be helpless. And how did she get to the point where she had no money of her own? I'm not blaming her. I'm just trying to, see and think about how much, power women wield. How much power women submit, that's the word. How much power women submit or commit or exchange when they get married. And I know the place of submission. I'm Christian. I know the place of submission. I know the place of, the head, and even though marriage is partnership, one person just has to lead. But it almost seemed like in the African context, the leader is a dictator, and is like a military regime, because your wife is asking you money to make her hair, and all you can think about is for her to go grab rubber bands. No, that level of wickedness really shocked me. It really shocked me. And you have a side chick who, and let's talk about Bade and Nkechi. Bade cannot tell me that he did not see Nkechi coming. No, no, no. You, whether woman or man, inside you, when somebody is beginning to like you, and when somebody is beginning to move towards, So that thing of men have issues at home, and so they ran into the arms of another woman. Why didn't he run into a moving vehicle, or in front of a moving vehicle? Why didn't you run and into a pub, or what they call it, beer parlor or something? Why didn't he run into reading? Why didn't you run into the gym? Why is it that is the arm of another? And who pushed him out? Because he was the one who didn't take care of his wife. It feels like I'm ranting in this review. It feels like I'm just going all over the place. But please, if you agree with anything I'm saying, let me know in the comment section. If you feel what I'm saying, if you feel the same way I'm feeling, because I watched it today, so yes, it's fresh. My feelings are fresh. My feelings are very fresh rather. So because this is, and this happens, you'll be shocked how what's the word now? You'll be shocked how common this is. This is such a common story. Women get married and lose themselves. They get married and become a shadow of, and no, they didn't plan to. They didn't think they would. They didn't think that person they loved so much and were ready to drop everything for in a heartbeat will ever put them in that kind of situation. It's just, I don't know, and I don't want to give titles to it. I don't want to say, oh, he's a narcissist or he's an abuser. I don't want to give titles to it. I just want to talk about the quality of the human being that you decide to do the rest of your life with. Is really first thing to think about. Is a person kind? Is a person kind? Kindness. Very important. So what do you call important? While I'm still in the middle of that, let's talk about the fact that society will always excuse men, especially the African society. It will always excuse men. Imagine Linda saying, oh, he does this, and the next thing the auntie will say, she was always bringing up an excuse, always creating an excuse, always thinking of something. And that's how aunties, African aunties, if you know African aunties, if you've been with them, some, I'm not generalizing, some that that are, let me not say what I want to say, that's, they will always, men will be men. No, human beings will be human beings. Even women can be mad. Even women can, you think it's only men that have a monopoly of madness? No, absolutely not. Even women can be mad. They expect that the chunk of sacrifice is made by the woman. You sacrifice your job, your happiness, your this, your that. But that's not the context of marriage. Marriage is supposed to make both persons bloom, both persons grow, both persons become better, both persons become one, and then work towards a unified purpose. Yeah. So let's talk. I love before I talk, I love the fact that the moment Linda did that job for her, for her friend, and she got paid, the next scene, the transformation, sharp babe, the transformation was quick and sharp. I love it. And I love that her friend did not just hand her money. It was that she exchanged value for money, because that would have done something to our own self-confidence. Imagine not working for about 2 years, and maybe at that point she was beginning to think, oh, I'm not valuable, I don't have anything to offer. Imagine her not having access to the internet in 2025, Chelsea. So I'm sure that job she did to her friend really helped her self-esteem, really helped her realize that she's still valuable, and that goes to say, have value, be able to provide value, whether it's a skill set, whether it's a skill, whether it's an information you can exchange, whether it's something you can do. Have value, because you never know when you'd have to exchange it for resources, and resources are not even limited to money now. Do you get? So I love the fact that immediately after that scene, the babe was back. Was Hello, the babe was back. It didn't take much. It could take much. Baby padawa, because what money can do stirs. But beyond the money now, I'm letting us see that the fact that she offered value, it reminded her of herself. It reminded her of how much value she herself, carries. And it must have done something. It must have helped her, find herself in some sort of way. Yet the journey of finding herself again, it's not doesn't happen in one day. But that singular action of exchanging something for something must have kicked something in her mind that, oh wait, I'm still inside there. I might not look like it right now, but me that I know is still somewhere inside. And yeah, I just loved how that played out. And as much as I bashed the auntie and the cousin for not coming through in time, they still did eventually. And I love the way they did. No drama, no noise. You don't want the marriage again, let her go. We were not going to see please, 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 please. We're not going to beg, because men like him would always want, to people to be begging. And let me go to the fact that he knew that she needed that marriage. That was his power over her. He knew that she needed that marriage to work. She needed it. She needed it. She needed it. She needed it, one, to prove a point, to herself, to her aunts, to her family. And then she was almost, it was almost like the marriage was holding more importance to her than him. So he could keep keep what's the English now? Dangling it in her presence, because he knew that she needed that marriage. It's like when someone is blackmailing somebody, like, oh, I have this, and if you don't give me this, I will. He knows that no matter how bad he treats her, she's going to stay, because she needs to be in that marriage. And that happens a lot when women know that their parents won't let them come back home, or they don't have any money of their own. Goes to say, that have your own money, or have value that you can exchange for money. There's not even or, is and. Have money and have value. Is and. No, and that's not it's not because you're planning for divorce. It's just that as an individual, as an adult, as a human being, have your own money and have values and skills that you can exchange for money. So back to the aunt and the cousin. As much as they didn't step in time, they still stepped in. And I love that it was without drama. It was without you don't want again, no wahala, and no touch am. If you don't want make pity buy you, no toucher. So I love how, and it was very systemized that when he imagine the wickedness of calling the police on your wife. Ah, God, who raised this man? Hmm? The wickedness of calling, because you could not figure her. See, because she was no longer relying on him, she was no longer, begging, she was no longer, is an abuser. It doesn't have to beat to be an abuser. You know, the fact that she was no longer relying on him and begging him for hands down or just for help, it put him, on edge. It was unsettled. He just wanted to, get her back to that position. It's demonic. It's demonic. And I love that there were paper trails. Her friend did not just hand her money, like I said. And that goes to say the value and the need for a good support system. You need a good support system, a very good support system. The cousin, her friend, and her aunt coming through for her was very beautiful. I love that she chose herself, even though for me it felt like it was slow, but the writer knew what she was doing. I think the story is by Auntie Biodun, and Auntie Biodun has beautiful stories. She tells stories that are not mostly told. And even when it's a story we have seen before, she tells them in beautiful ways. And that's one thing I love about her stories, her channel, whether she's doing comedy, whether she's doing something about, society or family, she does it really well. And there is a level of excellence to what she does. And I feel like we should give her flowers more often than not, whether it's a cinema movie or something that is brought to YouTube. You can see the excellence, you can see the effort, you can see the attention to detail that still goes into it. And yeah, I think there was a part I was talking about in Nkechi and Bade, that Bade cannot say he did not see Nkechi coming. I felt like I was rounding up, then I went back. Bade cannot say he did not see Nkechi coming. If it's not that he had the tendency, or he was, even though all of us have the tendency to mess up, yeah, But if it's not that, you safe, you're not a good person. Somebody you are working with that you and your wife were working with before. It's just a dog. There's no other way to say it. Anyways, that's about that. What do you think of this movie? What are your thoughts? Do you have a favorite scene? My favorite scene definitely is the last scene where they came to get out of that house, get her out of that house. That's my favorite scene. Do I have a favorite character? I don't think so. I just really love the storyline and I love how it played out. And I love that, value money was really what saved that because it is really germane. Yeah. What do you think? And let me just know in the comment section. There are always people reading. If there's anything I said that you don't quite agree with, also let me know in the comment section. And hopefully I will see you on my next one. For now, bye.